Welcome back to Boy Band Break, where we encourage you to take a break from your day and join us in some boy band conversation. As always, my name's Diane.
I'm Chinzia.
I'm Sophia.
And I'm Lydia, aka Mama Lou.
Welcome back, guys. It is our third episode in strict quarantine.
Stay at home.
Hopefully, this won't last too much longer.
Fingers crossed.
I feel like by the time this episode comes out, it might be the last one that has to be like this. I'm not sure. We'll see, I guess. We're crossing our fingers.
Yes.
Staying safe and still providing you with entertainment.
As we do. And considering that we have nothing else to do, but
might as well.
We have had to get creative. And so last week we had a super exciting episode because we got to have an interview with Kira Williams. So if you haven't checked that out, you should definitely go check that one out. This one might not be as exciting, but
depends on the person. Maybe some people might find it exciting.
Maybe you might find this exciting. We decided that, as I said, since we have nothing else to do, that we would do some binging.
Woo!
And, you know, if you're like, oh, cool, you watched Bridgerton? Like, yeah.
Yes.
But also, we decided to watch all seven episodes of Mission Man Band.
Woo!
From all the way back in 2007.
Get excited, guys.
And
I just jump in right now and say that I feel that my experience watching this show is different than the other three.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I
Shocking.
can predict how you guys feel about this show and how I feel about the show. So, yeah. Can I just read a quick overview of it from
please.
Wikipedia?
Yes, please.
Okay.
We would be delighted to hear it.
Mission Man Band, also known as Sure Shot, Totally Boy Band, and Band of Men, is an American reality series that first aired on VH1 August 6, 2007. The show is based on a format produced by MTV UK, who did Totally Boy Band, which we should look and see who we probably wouldn't know that either.
That'd be fun to watch,
in which a boy band is formed with various members of successful pop acts from the past. The show follows the production, recording, performance, and behind-the-scenes action involved in the run-up to the launch of their first single as a new group. The group, which called itself Sure Shot, consisted of 4 members: Bryan Abrams from Color Me Bad, Rich Cronin from LFO, Chris Kirkpatrick from NSYNC, and Jeff Timmons from 98 Degrees. So right away, 3 of my favorite boy banders are in this. So right away, it's got to be a thing.
Oh, sure.
So the 4 of them lived together for 3 weeks in Chris's house in Orlando, Florida, and collectively wrote and produced songs with the help of professionals from the music industry, producer Brian Michael Cox, music manager Katie McNeil, and vocal coach Jerry Williams, as cameras followed their every moves. On January 23rd, 2007, the group performed the halftime of the Orlando Magic basketball game, where they ended up being booed from the arena after their performance. The performance was filmed by VH1. On January 30th, the group performed at Mansion in Miami, Florida, which they also filmed. Shooting for the show took place between January 15th and February 2nd, 2007. So there you go. There you go. So what is that? 14 years ago they recorded this?
Yep.
So quite some time has changed. We'll do a quick update at the end of where they all are now. But yes.
So the format of this episode, are we going to go through each episode one by one, what happened and how we felt?
So.
Sure.
Yeah. So obviously this came out in 2007, so there was not a lot of information on the interwebs, and obviously it was not very popular. So it was also really.
It's because it came out in 2007, or do you feel that it's because no one watched it?
Okay.
Yeah.
In my defense, we didn't get this in Canada.
No, we didn't.
Because we don't have VH1.
It's true. This is true.
So if I would have known this was happening, I would have watched it. I heard about it a few years later. I think I watched a couple episodes, but then I came up with this idea that we should be forced to watch this show, and we had no other idea, so that's why the girls agreed to it. So there you go. Anyways, Yeah, I feel like maybe if it was different members of the bands, or if it was on MTV or something, it would have.
Oh, are we doing critique time of what could have been done different, or is that at the
No,
end?
we'll leave that at the end.
Okay. Let me show you my notes, guys. I have a lot of notes here. I have a lot of notes, so
Okay, so
I didn't come to play. I broke this down.
So if you guys haven't heard of this show, or you watched it back in the day and forgot about it, you can go to YouTube and watch 6 of the 7 episodes.
Which is where we got
the
stuck.
6th episode. On
the playlist.
She uploaded it twice. So she uploaded episode 7 twice. So to watch episode 6, you have to go to Daily Motion.
Yes.
But I'm sure we'll put the links or whatever. Anyway, so
I don't think anyone cares, but okay, sure.
if you care, if you're like, man, I'm missing boy bands, I want to watch this, here you go. So our first episode is called From Boys to Man Band. And it first aired August 6th. Also the show is only a half an hour show. So the episodes are between 20 and 25 minutes. So you can definitely get through it in a short amount of time.
And she left some of the advertisements in. And it's really funny to see advertisements from like back then.
Oh my God,
like,
did you see that little iPod?
Yes, iPod Nano. Oh my God. I'm like, oh.
And there was a contest that you could get the Dave Matthews Band to play at your college.
Like, why are you advertising this during a man band? Why don't you have the man band come to your college football game? Like, what the hell?
Cares.
I know.
All that being said, though, yes, technically, because they're only 20-ish minutes, you could get through it in like
2.5 hours.
2.5 hours. But we take no responsibility if you actually do that, because it's 2.5 hours of your life that you are not getting back. And
This is very true.
Or maybe 2.5 hours of joy
if you watch it.
Joy. Okay. All right. I have a lot of critiques at the end. I'll just save that for later.
Okay, so the first episode, From Boys to Man Band, the guys move into Chris's mansion and meet their hard-nosed manager. So right off the bat, I gotta say, I know Lou screwed over NSYNC quite a bit, but clearly Chris got enough money to have a pretty decent-looking mansion.
It's a nice house.
That's
a nice
true.
house. He had a very nice house, and I thought it was really cute that as they were coming, so he like decorated their rooms by putting like a picture of their band on their bedroom door, and then I'm assuming went to Walmart and got them to like make one of those big photo blankets,
Yeah.
like the soft photo blankets with their face on it.
That was so creepy.
That's the
Yeah, that was funny.
That's so Chris is
That
what
is-
that is.
Yeah.
so
That's true.
So,
That's true.
all right, Lydia. Do you
All right. Okay. I will go through step by step what I thought of the episode. Okay. So in episode 1, it established that Chris was an alcoholic who was lost in life. That was very surprising.
Know that. Is that true?
I wouldn't. He definitely drinks, but I don't think he's not Bryan Abrams. He just
No.
drinks to have fun, I guess.
I thought he was more like in a joking way, like, "Oh, I'm a recovering alcoholic."
but I'm
Minus
not
the
recovering.
Yeah.
Take out the
But I think it was like more joking.
What? I don't know. I was very confused by that. I was like, wait a second. Chris is an alcoholic. I've definitely seen, like, when Chris was doing what was his live Instagram show called? Did it have a name?
Oh, the quiz one?
The trivia show, right? The trivia show?
Yeah, night
Anyways, you guys know what I'm talking about. It was
Boy Band trivia or whatever.
whatever. The Instagram trivia thing that he did. He would drink alcohol during that. So I was like, is he an alcoholic or was he just joking?
I think he
was just joking.
Like he definitely drinks and his wife drinks and everything, but I don't think he's to the point of being a belligerent asshole like other people. Yeah.
I saw what I
Well,
saw.
sometimes, yeah.
Okay. Like I remember like
so at the very beginning they were kind of introducing all the 4 members and it was like LFO sold these millions of albums, Color Me Bad was this, like whatever, and then kind of like how their band broke up, like briefly they were kind of talking, and then Chris was talking about how, you know, like Justin and JC wanted to go do solo
Oh, this one is
stuff,
funny. I love this one.
and Joey Lance wanted to do like acting stuff, and
They wanted to do TV.
yeah. And then how did he describe himself? Just getting drunk or?
And then he's like, I
Partying
had a
and
lot of
partying and-
TV and partying to do. That was my favorite quote from this episode.
Yeah, so Chris is like, well, you know, I worked hard to make this boy band. Everyone has abandoned me, so now I'm just going to drink and party in my mansion.
Yeah. So what? See, like the thing is about this, like it just, you know, you have a perception of people, And then like when you see them in this, you're just like, oh my God, like Chris has got problems. I didn't think it was that bad, but I was like, oh my God. Anyway, so we were introduced to Chris. And then we're introduced to Rich Cronin, who just came back from leukemia.
Okay,
super depressed. And
that was so
oh
sad.
my God, like haggard.
Anytime he would say something about the future, I would get teared up. Like, it's really hard
Because
to.
we know what happened. He ended up dying of leukemia because I think the third round, third round of.
But he was
bone
almost
marrow.
unrecognizable of what he looked like.
Yeah.
When
That's what I was gonna say. Listen, I understand why you'd want to have Rich on the show. I even understand why Rich would want to do the show, but the timing was not great for him.
No.
Like, I was just like, why would he agree to do this now? Like, not now, but like at that time now.
I think because he had a taste of life is fleeting. And if I want to do something, I got to get on it now. I get his desperation, but
like,
he looks sad.
So he had been in remission about a year, I think, or a year and a half at that point.
I don't know, he had
But he was
bags
still
under his
going for
eyes.
weekly
Yeah.
blood things.
And he still looked like not as bad as it got like near the end, but he still kind of had that like bloated,
like rounded, like
and I was like, oh no.
Like the skin's kind
Yeah.
of gray.
kind of waxy. And
Yeah.
I felt really bad. I was like, oh my
Me
gosh, so sad.
I just that didn't make sense to me, but
No.
carry on.
Yeah. So like, you know, like
because
he.
they
Yeah,
they
go
never actually say how exactly these four guys got together, right?
No.
Did they actually?
I thought it was Chris was like driving the boat.
I feel like Chris was kind of like the driver.
I assume that
VH1
whoever,
did it.
whoever was putting the show together put out a thing that said, hey, we want to rip off this UK show and make a US version. So
Yeah.
put this out to all the boy band members who's willing to do this. And this is who got back to them.
Yeah. Because
Yeah,
I feel
probably.
like Chris is always willing to try to be a boy band. So
Mhm.
okay, continue on with your.
Okay, so then we're introduced to Jeff Timmons, who likes behind the scenes better than being in front, which was surprising.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think.
I think I guess mostly because of his voice. He doesn't have a good voice. That's what he's saying. Like maybe that's why.
He was very hoarse at the beginning too. I don't know if he was just coming over sickness or something, and he was trying to use that as a lot of excuses. I felt.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. And
When did he do the Chippendale thing after this?
I think so, because I think
Yeah.
when we went to the Backstreet Boys movie premiere, he was doing Chippendale stuff then,
Yeah,
a little bit before. So I would say probably around 2010.
Well, the Backstreet Boys movie was in 2015.
Yeah, I know, but he had already started his.
Yeah, it had been going for a while before that. That's why I wasn't sure.
But he was definitely buff and like he looked the best
looked
out
the
of
part.
all of them. Yes, he.
Although his hair could have had more
It
developed.
wasn't hard to, though. The bar was on the ground.
Okay, well, it is what it is.
Yeah.
You know, they need to have different types. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. All right, and then we're introduced to our final member, Bryan Abrams. Bryan Abrams, who works at a tire store, very depressed, drinking, and got chubby.
he's from Color Me Bad.
I need
Yes.
some color me back.
And
Yeah.
I was looking up Color Me Bad. They have their big hit, I Want to Sex You Up.
Mhm.
But they came out in 1985. So you guys were all born that year, and I
Yes.
would have been 3. So we were never really big Color
Of
Me
course
Bad
not.
fans.
Yeah.
Because I believe they disbanded before we started listening to boy band music.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so he was the only one that I'm aware of that was married and
With
had
baby.
a child, a baby that was like a baby, and then just found out that his wife Kim was pregnant.
Mm.
So her quote was, "We really want him to do well on this so we can pay off some bills." So that was like, okay, well,
Yeah.
That was also sad.
I was like, that is really sad. And he had very like weirdly chiseled
Oh, that was. I'm like,
hair
dude.
to make his like chin look smaller, but all you
Dude.
see is the hair. Like,
It
And
was.
he's the lead singer of this band. I
Yeah.
was like, okay.
That was interesting. Yeah.
hmm.
So then, okay, so right away, 4 people in a boy band, automatic failure. So
That's
like
true.
this was set up for failure because
We
if you
need
had
to-
5 is the magic, you know. But whatever, we'll get into that a little bit later. Then we had the bed sheets with the faces, like Chunzi had mentioned. Then there was a mysterious note from KM was a blonde woman, Katie McNeil, who ended up being the manager.
I thought it was going to be a
I just thought it was funny that like Chris was like, oh, or whoever, Rich, was like, oh, look, this is a big envelope here.
Oh my God. Can I just say that Rich was very much a horn dog in this movie, in this show?
Yeah.
Like everyone's like, boobs, there's boobs. And he's smuggling midgets. Really big boobs. And we're like, okay, gotcha, buddy. Like,
that was so funny.
Like,
yeah, it was pretty funny.
Embrace life.
I know. Exactly.
So in it they had a song they were supposed to learn, and they were all like, fuck you, we don't need to learn a song, which I thought was ridiculous because you're literally
Singers.
a singer.
You're a singer
trying to make a band. So why would you not sing for the manager?
Exactly. Yeah. So then essentially the record label that wanted to take them on were very odd. Like it was the record label for Everclear, and they never did a boy band.
Management company. Sorry,
what is that, management? Okay,
yeah.
sorry. Okay, yeah, you're right. Okay, my bad. Yeah, there was a lot of like, I think Jeff Timmons like being like, I don't want to sing, like a lot of fake drama. Like it seemed very
staged.
Yeah, right.
Well, it also seemed weird that Katie would be like, they don't normally cover boy bands. So she started off being like, I don't listen to your type of music. Your type of music is crap, like blah, 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 blah. So like, I feel like she didn't try to establish a rapport at the beginning.
Yeah, she wasn't like,
and then that already put up like,
I have two conspiracy theories about that.
Dish.
I feel that a lot of this show was staged.
Oh,
yeah.
A lot of it was manufactured drama that they were like, okay, now we're going to pretend this happened, even though, like, you know what I mean? Oh, you get pissed off about having to sing irrationally. It makes absolutely no sense that your entire life you've been a singer, and now someone asks you to sing, and you're like, fuck you, I'm not doing that. Like, why would you?
Yeah.
Like, it literally made no sense for them to be upset about that, but then for some reason they were. And I was like, they made this up. They were just like, you're mad about it. And so they were like, okay, we're mad. And then they suck at pretending to be mad.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. This acting was terrible.
Yeah, they're not good at this acting business.
My second conspiracy theory is that woman is not a real manager at all.
No. I guess we kind of
and she is just, I'm pretty sure, sleeping with Chris. And Chris was like, hey, do you want to be on this show? And she was like, sure. And they were like, okay, you can like pretend to be the manager, because she had clearly no idea what she was doing. And
I respected some of her practices. We'll get into them later. But
practices being lines that someone told her to say. Like,
True.
Why was she whispering through a lot of it?
I thought that was weird too.
Oh, like, why the fuck is she whispering?
I'm assuming because she was in like the common room of the house and didn't want anyone to hear what she was saying.
And I'm like, and she kept showing up wearing winter jackets and scarves.
Yeah, that made no sense.
And I was like, it's Florida. What the hell is going on? And then she just seemed like they'd be mad at her and she'd be like,
yeah, that was weird.
Like, what? Like, she was like a robot. Anyway.
Weird. Yeah, no.
Yeah, she was a weird character.
I don't believe she was a real manager. I believe she was somebody's side piece, most likely Chris's.
Yeah,
I just tried looking it up, but
yeah. Okay, you look it up in the meantime. I'll keep going. Okay, so essentially they wanted them to rehearse the song "I'll Be Watching You," which is a lame song, super lame. Like,
Jeff Timmons liked the song right away. He's like,
no, he said he didn't want to sing it.
Not that song. Sophia.
Oh, okay, good.
So they were covering a song.
This was when they went to the restaurant.
Oh,
like
gotcha. Sorry.
Right? Yeah. So then there was that. And then Rich Cronin, fucking love him. Close man to my heart, says, I couldn't manage to stop looking at her boobs. It was like she was smuggling midgets. Loved it.
Oh my God, that was hilarious.
Cute.
Oh,
yeah.
I loved it.
Between him and Chris, oh my God, the jokes, pure jokes between those two.
That's good. Yeah. And then like you see like Rich just taking a lot of pills. Like he was just showing to the camera, like, these are all the pills I have to take. And it was just like, oh my God, this
so
man
sad.
is like literally like just like pieced together. Like I felt like so, like, I'm not trying to like, I please don't think I'm making fun of Rich. It was just, my heart broke for him, like that he was trying so hard. He was trying so hard up against everything.
And I would have to say that Rich had the most Drive, and he was also the most excited about the project and willing to like do stuff. He was like, okay guys, and he was the most positive.
Yeah, totally.
So like everybody else had like whiny bitch ass moments.
Yes.
For the most part, Rich was like,
and then like, go ahead.
Sorry, keep in mind that Rich probably also had the least amount of success in his first time around.
Yeah.
I don't know about Color Me Bad and like how actually successful they were, but also their success, if there was any, happened so long ago that I feel like he was kind of over it a bit more versus like Rich had it more recently. Like he finished, he said in 2002, so that was only like 5 years prior. And then the entire time, based on what he said throughout the show, he had been trying to like get in the industry and so I feel like he was the most, I agree, he was the most driven to make it like a real thing.
Yeah.
Because Rich
I agree.
was a songwriter too.
Yeah.
Remember?
That's what Rich was like the main thing there.
Yeah.
And also in the beginning, it said something like in the year 2000, they did 230 shows. Like they're showing them at the malls and stuff. And then all of a sudden it just stopped. They were like hardcore, like go, 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 and then nothing, right? So I feel like the LFO probably had the shortest career of them all.
And they were under the Lou label, which he probably got screwed out of a lot of money. Yeah, he did because the publishing, he sold the publishing under Rich.
Yeah,
sold Rich's publishings without Rich knowing, and it was very hurtful. That was on the Lou Pearlman documentary, and also that's on the Howard Stern interview as well.
Yes.
So and then Jeff Timmons was just super overwhelmed. He's like, this isn't me anymore. I'm gonna go home. It was just so stupid. I wanted to slap.
Yeah, he was like really depressed. He didn't sleep at all. He was just thinking about like, oh, I need to go home. I can't do this. And then all of a sudden he was like, fine.
I also
that was like the fastest like
recovery
epiphany that he's ever had, like I've ever seen. That was funny.
I also just want to point out that because this was only shot over 3 weeks and there's 7 episodes, that means that like every 3 days is one episode.
Yeah.
So they have a lot to like make something up so we can have like an episode, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. But anyways.
Oh, good. And then they went on this Native American ritual.
Oh my God.
What the hell was that? Did anyone?
I guess that was one of the ideas. Let's like go to this because it's something spiritual to bond them together.
They all got feathers.
Yeah.
I was scared. I was like, oh boy, we're about to have some cultural appropriation. It was okay. It was very like it was Native American people.
It was respectful.
Which I don't think you would call them that anymore. That's what they called them. I think you
First
would call
Nation,
them
I think.
First Indigenous, whatever.
Yeah.
They performed the ceremony and they were running everything. And it's not like anyone was wearing any like, like their cultural dress or anything. They were wearing their own normal clothes.
Yeah.
So it was okay in that sense, but I was just like, this started, I was like, oh God, here we go. I'm about to, but it was better than I thought it would be.
And I also felt that at that point, you could kind of see who was more into it and who wasn't.
Yeah.
Like you could tell that Rich was really into like New Beginning and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and Chris is a little jokey and like
Oh
he was okay for the ceremony, but not like, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. It was just, and then they all got like a little souvenir at the end of the
They got
eagle
a
feather.
leaf, feather, not a leaf.
Bird leaf.
Yes.
That was to bond them together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like the main purpose of it was just like, okay, leave the past in the past. We're gonna go, bring your best to the future kind of thing. Like I get why it was done, but it was just like also very like weird and out there.
It was just a weird place to have it in the episode. Like didn't make sense.
Yeah,
Which
I agree.
happens a lot through the episodes.
Yeah. And then like essentially my last point on this episode was just like nothing felt real, everything felt super fake. And this was like the beginning of the era of reality TV, right? Which was scripted, but also not scripted. Like I feel like they've gotten better now. Like now you can kind of tell when it's like, there's a genuine emotion and when it's just like, like fluff. But like this was just like, oh my God, like this is definitely like manufactured out of like a sausage machine. You're like, oh my God.
Yeah, it was bad.
I was going to make this point too. This was during a time where like every fucking celebrity decided that they needed a reality show.
Yeah.
And there was just so many of them, and the market was just like so saturated, and a lot of them were so bad and so scripted because it's like, we can't actually show your real life. So we're going to make this reality show where it's like you're pretending that this is your real life. And generally speaking, celebrities don't do that anymore. Like a lot of the reality shows that are like in this vein of like, we're going to follow around people as they like, you know, whatever. They're just like the Kardashians or like the Housewives or the like, whatever, you know what I mean? It's not,
They're famous because of their reality.
they're famous for being famous. They're not like they weren't famous and then made a reality show. Like those are very rare nowadays. And so, but I just feel like 2007 was a time when like everybody had a reality show. And so they were just like, cool, what?
Like Paris Hilton and like Married to
I
Jonas.
was gonna say, wasn't this when I'm pretty sure 2007 was when House of Carters was on. I'm pretty sure it was around the time of Newlyweds with Nick and Jessica. So like
yeah.
other boy banders were doing it. And so it's just kind of like, I get it, but woof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody else have anything about episode 1?
No, we said it all.
All right. So episode 2 is called Get This Party Started. The guys write lyrics for a new song and they run it past music producer Brian Michael Cox. Later, Chris throws a party at his mansion.
Wow. Okay. Let's unpack this one. Ouch. They got a personal trainer for Bryan, who's the chub. He's now 300 pounds when he came to the mansion.
He wanted to lose 30 pounds.
In 3 weeks. Are you
That's
like,
a little bit too much.
Like, okay, yeah.
Well, like, maybe okay, so that's what I'm going to say. Maybe it could have been done if they had like a personal chef, they had a personal trainer, you know, like there's also like, because you can get like Hollywood ready, but like you can like
They must have had some kind of catering or personal chef though.
Yeah.
Because whenever you saw them eating, there was just like platters of food in Chris's island in the middle of the kitchen, and they were just eating off of it. So I think they did have. I don't think Chris was fucking making all that food.
No.
Yeah, it just like, but it wasn't like this is your special diet, like you know what I mean? Like,
True, yeah.
It was just kind of like you kind of set the man up for failure because you're like, here's this lady who comes in the morning and that's pretty much it. You know what I mean? It was just kind of dumb. And then Chris was encouraging Jack Daniels to Bryan, which was not nice.
But like,
Idiot.
didn't they know that Bryan was like an alcoholic? So why would you have a party and then try to give him
Dumbass.
booze? Like,
This episode really makes Chris look like a dick.
Super day.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
definitely.
He's just like, oh, Brian's an alcoholic. I'm going to tell him about that I'm drinking. I'm going to throw a party where 1 million people are drinking. And then when it's over, I'm going to be like, wow, Brian, you're such a dick. Why would you drink?
No.
Chris, hello? Like,
You literally gave him the keys to the booze.
Yeah.
Kind of
Idiot.
thing.
Like inviting a vegan to a barbecue. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, come on.
Maybe he didn't. Okay, so at this point, Bryan had been sober for 2 months, he said.
Which is not a lot of
There's just
time.
not a lot of time.
Like, I thought it was like 2 years. Like, oh my God. But like 2 months, you're like, okay.
And I
like,
feel like Chris was
I
like,
haven't gone to
okay,
like
well,
5 guys in 2 months. Like, you know, it's not something that I've like, I'm sorry. I know. But yeah, like, I don't know, like not a huge accomplishment, but I guess because I've never been an addict, I don't know.
Right, and he could have been
So-
drinking every day. And as we see later on, he is a bad drunk.
He's
so
a very bad drunk.
we're gonna continue.
Yeah. Okay. And then Brian Michael Cox came in. Cox.
He did not look impressed to be there. by the way.
No.
was
He
just
must have
like-
gone offered a lot of money to be on.
Yeah.
I can't remember who they said that he's done stuff for, but it's like other pretty
Like
famous
Pink
people.
and like
I think it was like Usher was one of them.
yeah,
like
Mhm.
he's actually like done good shit, and I feel like he may have just been desperate for money at this point
I don't know.
because like it was like, oh, I don't know.
So
that
they
was-
he brought in like the melody or whatever, and then
I
told them
feel
all to
like
write their song.
they made it, the way that they made it seem, at least, which this part could have been accurate, was that they were like, oh, here's a challenge for you. Like, if you can make a hit song for these guys, then you can do anything.
Right.
True.
And so, like, I could see how someone's like ego would be like, okay, I'll see.
Yeah.
They probably wanted TV exposure as well. And stuff,
Right, probably.
Right? So
Yeah, exactly.
they all had to like write stuff, and then some people took it more seriously than others.
Yes. Brian wanted a dictaphone, and everyone's like, "What's a dictaphone?"
Oh my god, that was hilarious.
Oh my god, that was too much. I guess it was supposed to be funny, but I'm just like it was just like so forced. I was like, "This old man wants a dictaphone. What is that?" Like, I was just like,
I thought it was funny.
yeah. All right. And then Jeff Timmons was washing the dishes, and he was like, "Glasses? Why are there so many glasses here?"
Which I felt was a theme later on when Brian's wife was like, "Why are there so many glasses?"
I'm like, is this like a joke too? Like, is this scripted? I don't know. Like, this is not, whatever. Like, they had
Was it like an inside joke? Like that?
Maybe they just needed to show off Chris's dishwasher.
Dishwashers existed back then, but okay. And he had one too. So then Jeff Timmons was just such an edgy little bitch
Because he still wasn't 100% on board at this point.
No, exactly. And then they had the songs, and then the songs were just ouch, ouch, ouch. Rich's song was terrible. Love him. But he said, "Fruit from France. You don't stand a chance." Nope.
Okay.
Okay. Then we had Chris was terrible too. He just was not taking it seriously at all.
He only had like the first part of the song. Like,
He didn't even record it.
yeah.
Yeah, he didn't have a chorus.
Yeah, exactly.
It wasn't horrible. Okay. Continue.
Chris farted into a bag. It doesn't smell so bad. It's actually kinda nice. It's like a peppercorn.
Would you just move along?
I know.
You should have done better. Come on.
And then Jeff's song was okay-ish. He was like attempting. And then,
this is the one where like, oh, my voice is hoarse, so sorry.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And then, but Brian's song was actually pretty good, which is, I was not expecting that. Like, I thought like, because they made him the lead, right? And then like, but you're just like,
he was the lead of his band as well.
yeah.
And also, he was the most nervous. And then I think it was Rich was all like, or Jeff, like, this guy's like a legend to us.
Yeah, like he doesn't know that we like adore him. You know what I mean?
Why don't you fucking tell this guy?
It was like very, I know. Like he definitely needs some help.
Yeah. Lift him up a little, man. Come on.
Exactly. Yeah. So I mean, like, that challenge. I guess I don't know if it back then. Like, I mean, now it would have been like, challenge. You get a $500 chip if you write a really good song. Like, you know what I mean? Like that.
Yeah.
Like they're better at producers are better at motivating now than they were back then. Anyway, so then Chris threw a huge party, which was super cringy.
Oh, can I just say one thing?
Yes, go ahead.
When they gave like, oh, you guys get a B, and then Chris is like, well, I'll take a B. I don't deserve a B, but I'll take it. That was pretty funny too.
Yes, he did. And then the guy was like, they should be A plus.
Yeah.
Don't be happy with the B minus. Like,
I
what
know,
the fuck? And
I
he
know.
was like, oh, B minus, I passed.
I know. I'm like, oh, dude.
Yeah.
Because this guy's putting his reputation online
Yeah,
for you
he
guys.
just looked so dejected. I felt the producer guy was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
what did I get
Well, 'cause
myself
he-
into?
You know, he is putting a lot on the line because, like, even like later on in the show, you see, you know,
Yeah.
Okay, we're not going to spoil it, but okay. Anyways, Chris throws a giant party, which is super cringe because it's like, where did all these people come from? Like, we're just like extras, like
It's
possible.
Why can't I be at this party? Why can't I be at this party?
it just looks
And
super
then like the girl
lame.
was like hitting on Brian, and then he like left for a bit, but I guess he went to go drink off camera.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back drunk, and then
Yeah.
the party went on into like it had a thing where it's like the camera
like the
crew
black
left at
text.
3, and then like I think they said that they
it's like
stayed up
the-
till 7 or 8.
Yeah, it's like the production crew wrapped up at 3 a.m., but the party kept going ... And then like then it comes back, and then like the
I think Chris went to sleep at 7. Everybody else went around 8, and then the personal trainer.
personal
was
trainer
there.
comes in and she's like, "What the fuck happened here?" Like,
Yeah, and then she was like, let's see if he like
promise.
yeah. And I was like, pretty sure he didn't, but okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Surprise! He didn't keep his promise. It was just like,
Oh yeah, and then he's like, I can't go. I'm sorry.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then just essentially, personal trainer was just like, "Yeah, I hear this excuse all the time, like whatever." And then
She's like, it's like fucking day 2, and you're already bailing. What the
yeah,
hell's wrong with
exactly. And then they're trying to come up with a band name. They have no ideas. And then the manager says, "Hey, I booked your first gig at the Orlando Magic which is a
Halftime show.
yeah, exactly. And that's the
That
end
was bad.
of episode 2.
Anything else for episode 2, guys?
No, but I
No.
feel like we need to go slightly faster because it's been 35 minutes and we're only on episode 3.
Episode 3, Drying Out Bryan, one day at a time. Katie gets the guys their first gig at an Orlando Magic game, but they question whether they're ready.
Okay, so then they have their new song called Work It Out, which actually sounds okay. Then Chris and Bryan have a confrontation, and Chris threatens to remove all the alcohol from the house.
He doesn't. He said he would to help. So first, Bryan's like, "It's nice that you came to me, but why are you doing it on camera? Why are you doing it on camera?" And I'm like, "If you're on a fucking reality show, that's why it's on
Yeah,
camera."
you douche, yeah.
But I found that like later on when he did it, he was like more like whispery off camera. So maybe I don't know. But yeah, so Bryan was like, "I'm fine, whatever. I'll do what I want."
And then they recorded the song. And then there was a photo shoot, which was kind of a fail. They didn't have matching outfits. They just looked like a random men they like picked off the street, and they're like, just stand beside each other.
Huh,
It was just
okay.
stupid.
Oh my god! And then the
And then Chris was
photographer
like,
was hilarious. What did he say?
What was the?
Oh, the photographer says the super look and work it, and the boys were like, "I have no idea what you're talking about."
What the fuck does that mean? Like whatever. And then yeah,
Yeah, it was just like,
and the stylist had a very interesting laugh. I feel.
It's like,
Oh my gosh, they made fun of her laugh
I
so
know.
hard.
ouch, ouch.
Why are they such dicks in this show?
I know. It's too much. It's too much. And then they finally came up with their band name called Sure Shot.
I would have to say that one of the ones that they didn't choose was Bowl of Fish.
Yeah.
Oh my
And then
Or-
that was
god!
Bryan's
Why
choice.
that on the board?
And then Rich was like, "That is the worst name I've ever heard in my life." Like,
Plan
Bowl
B
of
was
Fish.
also on there, which is
Yeah. I also
pill.
have to say though that when they got down to like the final names, VIP was their second choice.
I saw
Yeah.
Oh,
You can't
just
do
my
that.
luck.
That's a Canadian band, you
Which
douche.
I suppose they didn't know that VIP existed because even Canadians don't know that VIP existed.
Also a good point. Yeah,
But
that's a good point.
shout out to Canada there.
Exactly.
It's just my luck.
Okay, and then I have Jeff Timmons was a little bitch. Doesn't want to do the show, so that's there. And instead of being grateful for their first show, they're all bitches. But then they say at the end of the episode, they're like, "We'll stand behind Miss Kate." Miss Kate.
So I'd also like to point out that they, as well as we know, that sports fans are not a fan of boy bands.
Correct.
So they knew they were going to get booed and they knew shit was going to happen.
But
Yes.
any gig is better than no gig.
That's true.
True.
There are
But
other-
they also only had like 3 days to get it right.
correct.
But they've been in boy bands. They should
But
know
they haven't
this.
been together.
Oh, boo hoo! Like, okay. This is what was missing. Choreo was missing, and that's what brings people together.
Mhm.
That was stupid. Okay, but anyway.
Where's the Lou Warehouse?
That's
Where's
what
the
I'm
Lou
saying.
Warehouse?
The Lou Hair Warehouse, where everyone's like taking off their shirts and sweating
But-
and being miserable
I
together.
don't think you want to see those ones in the
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Yeah, but still, I feel like the team building exercise was not there. I think that needed more team building, personally.
All right.
And that's
But-
in episode 3.
Anything else for that episode?
Sorry, just to circle back to your point about choreo, though. The only one that had any choreography experience was Chris. 98 Degrees doesn't do choreo. LFO didn't do choreo. I don't think Color Me Bad did choreo. So
Look where they are now.
Mm-hmm.
Choreo. Jeez, give me
Well, I
this.
know, but I'm just saying, like, if you can't do it, you can't do it.
Well, come on.
Mhm.
A couple steps.
And in all fairness, Chris is the worst dancer of. No, Lance is the worst dancer.
I'm just saying, like, you come on. You don't got the bods. You don't got the moves. You don't got the voice. What do you got?
absolutely nothing.
All right. So moving on to episode 4, Boo Hoo Hoo, Making Magic. The guys perform during the halftime of the Orlando Magic game. The crowd jeers, and post-performance fallout makes them question Katie's judgment as their manager.
Okay. So then everyone has a panic attack during sound check. The management was too easy on them. They weren't like, they were just like, if you don't want to do it, it's okay. If you want to do it, it's okay. Like, if that was Lou would be like, you better get that on that fucking stage. You better perform the shit. I better get a boner. You better be doing this because you got to make that money to eat at the steakhouse. Okay? So like there was just like no push. You know what I
Which
mean?
is why I don't believe she was a real manager.
No, it was just like it's like listen, I gotta pay my mortgage. Like get on that stage, please. Like please, dear God. Like just there was no like it was just like if you do it, great. If you don't do it, whatever. Like I was just like whatever. Okay, it's stupid. The performance was good, but they were booed afterwards. So I didn't.
But
get that,
they
though.
had cheers right away.
Yeah, they had
Like,
cheers.
There was cheers,
And then there was boos.
boos because males are dicks.
Yes.
and can't support other males.
Correct.
True.
Because if they were to clap, it's like, oh, I'm not gay, boo! And you're just like, idiot.
Oh, we also find out that Rich gets stress shits.
Yes, he does. He gets
Yeah,
the stress
so-
shits. Poor guy.
Poor guy.
I know
So-
that's a real thing. So,
Mhm.
and then the venue was kind of dumb because it wasn't actually geared towards women. So no wonder they were set up for failure. And then everyone needs to step it up is what I wrote. Then they were trying to pass the blame onto Miss Kate.
Yes.
And
Which I was like, that's kind of a dick move to put
Super
it
dick.
all on the manager.
Super
like,
dick move.
take some fucking responsibility yourself.
Exactly. And then they were saying Miss Kate was like, trying to be like, let's learn from the critiques. So she made them watch the video back, and she made him listen to the radio producers who were
Yes,
saying color me fat, which was not very kind. And then
That was a dick move too.
yeah.
The night before that, though, like after the thing, they all went to a club except for Bryan, who was
went
trying
home.
to be responsible.
Yeah.
So he went home and to not drink. And when they were at the club, the DJ did play their song, and they
Which
thought it
was good.
sounded good in this thing. So they were kind of more pumped then. They weren't as depressed.
Which I'm sure happened by accident.
Cool. Yeah, come on, man.
What a coincidence that
Here's a CD,
bar
20 bucks.
Chris always goes to supposedly and comes in with a friggin' camera crew that what a coinkydink, they played their song. I was so shocked to hear it.
Exactly.
So,
It's like,
Yeah.
So they were all in a little bit of a better mood. Then Kate comes in at like fucking like 7 a.m. He's like, listen to the radio. And all these like
That part was so cringe.
Yeah.
I'm sure, considering Chris threw a house party not 2 days before, he had a decent stereo system that they could have listened to this on. But no, let's all go in Rich's room and sit around a clock radio. Like, what the hell was that?
so stupid. It was so
Yeah, that was dumb.
But, like, I feel like this is something that a manager should be, like, managing and not making them listen to, because that's kind of like they're already not in the greatest mood.
Manufactured drama.
Thank
That's what
you.
I'm just saying.
Agreed.
And then she tried to make them watch the performance, and Chris did not want to do it. So she was like, well, just watch part of it. And he's like, I hate watching myself, blah, blah. But she was trying to say, like, it's good to watch yourself or whatever. And
Yeah, she's like, you need to start somewhere. People are talking about you, which is what the good thing was, right?
then Chris had the quote, I'm going to kill myself
Oh my
and blame you.
Yeah.
So
So
dramatic.
that was a very dramatic baby moment. So
Yeah.
I'll admit it.
Escalated very quickly.
I'm gonna before I kill myself, I will write a note blaming you and saying you were the reason why I killed myself. We're like, okay,
Oh, such
there.
a funny man over here.
And then they ended with them calling a meeting. Is what I have. What do you have?
Oh,
Yeah,
I also would like to say that just in the regular day-to-day times when they're filming them, Chris far and away has the worst outfits.
Yes.
My lord, it's like he went to Douches R Us and bought all his clothes. Like,
Exactly.
holy
That's
shit.
very true.
I like the bandana looks he had.
bandanas were good.
No, it's brutal. Oh my god, it's so bad.
Which was the style at
That's
the
the
time.
style. That's Chris's style. Okay.
I know. Yeah, exactly. Then they recorded a new song, which actually was good. And then I mentioned that they have no choreo, which is dumb. Then there's a new show in Miami that the management tells them about.
Mansion.
Yeah, mansion.
Which we almost went to when we went, but you were underage, so we didn't go to Mansion.
Sorry, I know.
Not
Whoopsie.
for this event, but when we went to Challenge for the Children, that was where their party was happening. Was at Mansion.
Yeah. And then, okay, so they got the tape, rewatched everything. Oh, I said Critch is a little bitch. Suicide note regarding Miss Kate, which you already mentioned. And then Miss Kate, and then they called an emergency meeting because they want to fire Miss Kate,
Okay, I'd also like to point out that even though
who
these
seemed the most reasonable out of everyone.
Yes. So although these episodes are like 20 minutes long, the first 2 minutes is a recap of the previous. And the last like 2 minutes is like, this is what's happening in the next episode. So I started getting confused a bit of if something was actually happening in that episode or if it was a preview of the next episode.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
For that one?
That's the end of episode 4 for me.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So episode 5, can't trust management. Honesty is the best policy. The guys make fun of themselves in a music video. Later, Bryan's wife comes to visit and finds the house full of sexy backup dancers.
So I had
they were really into this.
Yes, they did. That's like the only thing that they got excited for.
Now I actually have notes.
Okay, so then they had a team meeting, and then I put boo-hoo because
Chris was right to the point.
What did he say?
So they
He's
said,
like, we want to fire you.
Yeah, but like for what?
Well, in the preview it said we want to fire you, but then when they said, oh, we wanted to fire you, so it was just like whatever.
Yeah.
And they were saying, and then Jeff I think was saying that we need someone who has our backs. We didn't like how you made us rewatch the thing and how you made us listen to like the shitty talk show about us. And then she did admit at that point that she would have done it differently.
So she did apologize, yeah.
But it took a while for that, and it was Chris pestering her, and it was just like,
True.
But
we got
entertainer.
You'd think they would have some thick skin at this point because they've all been in boy bands.
Like, come on, man. I think that was fake. Honestly, I do.
Also, Bryan had lost 8 pounds at this point, and he was more positive.
Okay. So then management's like, okay, guys, we got to get on this thing called YouTube. It's really cool. So we're going to make a goofy video about an evil wizard.
So we don't have a big budget, so the boys decided they wanted to make it funny.
Oh my God.
They could go viral, but they didn't call it viral because I don't think that was a word back then.
No, there wasn't. Yeah.
So like, we need to make buzz on YouTube.
Yeah, exactly. So like, this was like, so think of it early internet times, like, you know, no social media. So I mean, like, okay, so we got to remember the time, right?
Do you have their outfits?
I don't. Do you have their outfits?
I do.
Oh, Lord.
So they went to this costume shop for some reason. They had no concept for this thing except they wanted tomatoes thrown at them. And then Chris decided he was going to be a Viking. Rich apparently has always wanted to be Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah, I saw that.
That was weird.
Very exciting. Bryan is fat, so the only thing they could put him in was a toga because that went up to a 3.
Yeah, I felt bad about that too.
In there, bud.
And then they decided that Jeff should be Elvis. So that's it. So do you have stuff from the video? Because
no. Yeah. Okay. So go ahead.
So I have
the video then.
And Chris and Rich were the ones who came up with this idea for the video.
Yeah, so they're kind of going back and forth to make themselves laugh.
Yes.
Part of the video was tomatoes being thrown at them, which I feel like Kate and was very excited to throw those tomatoes.
I would have been too.
They sure were.
Absolutely.
And their costume, they spent $500 getting those costumes. There was a
Which
wizard
was their budget.
them. Yes, their full budget was used on these 4 costumes. So a wizard was chasing them. And Chris then at one point said, this is only going to be funny to us, which is probably true.
Yeah.
And Rich said, making the video was the best day of my life. One day I may have a child, and that will be the second best day.
That was sweet.
And then
I think it was a joke, though.
I don't know.
He seemed very enthused
legit.
by it.
I don't know.
I think he was kidding.
Eventually, he does have a second best day, which is in the next episode.
Because then I was gonna say, then in the next episode, he was like, "This is the second best day of my life," and then Chris is making a joke about this is the best day of my life in the past 2 weeks, and blah blah blah. Like,
yeah,
joke.
All right. Then I also have. Okay, at one point it sounded like Jeff and Bryan had toured together.
Yeah.
So during the I Love the 90s tour, maybe?
Yeah, because then Brian's wife was not a fan.
Wife Kim was there, and Jeff's like, she doesn't like me because she doesn't think I encourage Bryan, but I do. She just doesn't understand.
Yeah, so Brian's wife and Jeff Timmons have a feud. And this is when all the female dancer auditions come in. 14 sexy hot girls.
This is where all the boys were very into this. Choosing of the dancers.
Can I just say that Glenn, the choreographer, had like a bizarre look to him? Did you find that?
Wasn't he? Yeah.
Well, yes, I believe so.
Okay.
But so Kim came to town for 4 days, and her and the baby are watching from the second floor about whatever. And then at one point, she's also washing the glasses.
I know.
And then Kim
that was weird.
start arguing. At one point, it does mention that Bryan has 2 other exes, and that if his girlfriend or wife is annoying, he just kind of walks away. So Jeff thinks that she needs to be more
supportive.
And then I also made a note that Chris has a really cool viewing room.
Yeah.
Like, I really liked his viewing room. It had like these plush chairs and
Yeah,
stuff.
it looks very nice. And
So they decided to show the video to the producer, and he did not seem impressed at all.
He did not find it funny.
He was like, did not want this to be taken as a joke, and he felt that very much so it was.
Yeah.
And they, I think, could cut the tension with a knife at that point.
It was terrible.
Oh my God, yeah.
It was so
awkward.
Yeah.
Because they were laughing like the whole way through the video, and you're like, okay.
Yeah, that was not good. And then that the manager had to step in, like, keep in mind this isn't the final edit. It's like, oh yeah, like the final edit's gonna make this so much better. Like, yeah, it was just, yeah. And then obviously we mentioned that Bryan's wife was jealous of the female dancers. Yeah, and then that was pretty much the end of episode 5.
Anything else?
No.
All right, moving along to
This is where shit got weird, because on the playlist, episode 6 did not exist.
So then we found it on a different website, so we were able to watch it. So episode 6 is called Last Chance. The guys prep for a gig at a Miami club, but Rich's health clashes within the group put the show in jeopardy.
Okay. So we start off with Rich at the clinic checking his red and white blood cell count, which ended up being really well. Then they had the rehearsal, a stylist, then they were on a tour bus, and then they went to a radio station. And then...
Yes. This is where I noted that Kate whispers a lot in the confessions.
Yeah, and then I have Chris is a clown. At the audition, he's like, oh yeah, if you want to come see us, we're fat and ugly now. And he was just shooting himself like right in the foot, because you're like, come on, guys. Like,
and then the manager was like, you got to take it seriously. If you're always joking about it, then other people will take it as a joke.
Exactly, right?
So he was saying that they're taking the music seriously, and she's like, but you have to take it all seriously. Like, you can't just be like...
Yeah. Exactly, yeah. And then Chris is expertly throwing Miss Kate under the bus with a fight over...
Oh, my God.
Over mic stands. Stupidity.
Yes. He was nuts. So the sound check went really well for the first song with the dancers. The second song, there was no mics. He starts accusing Kate. She starts they kind of go back and forth from there. And then Rich is trying to break the tension. So he's like, what are we eating for dinner? And then Kate says, we're eating Chinese. And then he goes, Chinese food makes me sick.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's so
and I was just like,
cringy.
oh, but they still went and got it. And then they continue to fight, I felt.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
Then they got ready on the bus.
Yeah, they got ready on the tour bus, and then Rich had to poop because he was nervous.
Everybody.
And then finally, when the show starts, the music started too early.
Yeah, that was bad.
So they're freaking out, trying to figure out what to do, and then they decide to okay, fine,
Let's just go for it.
Just go, and they push Bryan out on stage. And then it worked well. The crowd loved it.
I saw a different crowd. Everyone was just standing still. It was
they didn't know how to react.
It was because it was a new song. No one could sing along to it. That's why.
But they seemed to like there was no booing. They liked it.
There was no booing.
The boys felt very great about it. They had a lot of their fans in the crowd, so they saw recognizable people. Then afterwards, they were hanging out with the crowd. It was very positive. Then Kate tells them they have meetings in New York.
Yes, and you can tell in this episode that Bryan and Rich are just really trying. They're really trying.
Because Bryan says he's been hoping and praying for 10 years for something like this.
Yeah.
Chris actually gave kudos to Kate for booking this in his confessional, not to her. And then,
of course,
Rich said it's a miracle and that prayers work. And I just didn't think I would be around anymore. So much to
that was so sad.
I was like, oh my God. It was so sad. And I was just like, but the hope that Rich had was just
I know.
Oh, anybody else have anything for this episode?
No.
All right.
You pretty much said everything.
Final episode.
It's the final.
Thank the Lord.
So this episode is called I Love New York. So it starts, the season wraps up with the guys meeting music execs in New York to discuss the possibility of signing a record deal.
Yeah, exactly.
So it kind of starts with a whole recap of the entire 6 episodes that have happened to this point.
Which I'm like, do they need to do this?
And the main thing is that Rich is sick. Jeff was not sure and was having pop star identity crisis was his thing. And then Bryan went on a 2-day bender and he's an alcoholic was kind of like the main points of that beginning part.
Yes.
So then Rich was saying, I want to do this for real. It's time for new beginnings. And Bryan lost 13.5 pounds over the 3 weeks.
He did, yes.
That's good.
And then before they go to New York, Chris and Rich go to the Arnold Palmer Children's Hospital, and Rich connected with a lot of the leukemia patients. And then he talks about his foundation, which I'm not sure if it's still around or not.
I'm sure it is.
It was the Rich Cronin Hope Foundation. So yeah. Do you want to go?
And then they are on their private jet to New York City. Jeff was like, meh, a private jet. I was like, oh, boo-hoo. Like, you're lucky you get like a bus seat to yourself, buddy. Like, be grateful that you have a private jet.
I thought he liked the private jet.
Well, it was just like, because she's like, I'm telling you guys, and you can tell them, we're getting a private jet. If someone told me I was getting a private jet, I'd be like, you know what I mean? But it's just like, we're getting a private jet. Oh. Okay. Yeah, that sounds
because I guess she must have told them while they were at the cancer thing because it was Bryan and Rich.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah,
Bryan and Jeff.
Exactly.
Also, before that happened, so she wanted them to kind of get a taste of the life that they could have if they put in their effort and stuff. And then they also record another song that night before they go.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then I said they dress like garbage on the plane because if you're going to New York to see record executives dressing like this, bullshit.
Yeah.
I was wondering that too.
Me?
I was like, I'm sure they don't need to wear suits, but I also feel like
dress it up a little bit. Though.
They just look like shite. They look like shite. And for having a stylist, of not look like shite.
Oh, I don't think she was there for that.
Yeah, I don't know. It was just stupid. And then they
so their first record label they went to was Atlantic Records, and they went to see Steve Lunt, who Rich has seen before, and he has said no to other Rich projects. Rich wasn't 100% hopeful, but he was like, okay, at least he knew the guy. So they have 3 songs. The guy said the first 2 were not 100% there. I cannot say this word.
What? Melody?
That starts with a melody.
Melodic?
Melodic. That is the word. But then Kate's like, but they just recorded this song last night. Here you go.
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh, okay, I like this 3rd song. Then they took a limo to the next place, which was Jive Records, which I believe NSYNC was signed to.
Yeah, I think so. That's why I'm like, I know them. Yeah.
Backstreet Boys were also signed to Jive.
Yeah, so Jive was like the boy band label. They went to meet with Jeff Fenster. So Bryan was saying, it's best to get an honest opinion, even though it's hard to hear the truth.
Yeah.
Because Jeff was like, Bryan and Chris, you have weight issues. You need to deal with that shit.
Yeah. It's funny they called out Chris. I'm like, ooh.
Well, if Bryan wasn't there, they would have called out Chris. But I feel like we're so overshadowed by Bryan being so much larger.
Maybe, I don't know. But I was just like, oh, bitch.
So I thought it was kind of positive that the producer was also there. And then...
Well, the producer was just like... Because the guy was like, you wouldn't put your name on just anything, right? So maybe this is good. Yeah. So then the other line from Jeff was... Jeff Fenster from Jive was, you've been together 3 weeks. Is this even a real group?
Yeah.
So then he made them perform in the boardroom. And unlike for Kate, they actually got up and performed because they were just like, oh, this is record label.
I got to sing for myself.
And they're like, oh, I haven't done this in so many years, blah, blah, blah. So again, he also really loved the 3rd song.
And you'll notice at each of these record labels, they do this creepy head bop. When they're listening to the songs, they're like, and I was like, okay, chill, right? It was just it was weird because it's the old bald man. He's just like,
Yeah, that was weird.
You're like, oh my god, this is so cringe.
But either way, like Kate didn't send the other two like until that morning, is what one of them said. They're like, I've only listened to the songs twice because you got them this morning. So,
Yeah, ouch.
yeah. So, anyways, so they left after that. They had a lot of positive feelings. They fly back to Orlando. And then I have Jeff says, this experience is one of the best of my life, which is hilarious because less than 3 weeks ago, he didn't want to do this. Rich said, he's seen such major changes in them in such a short amount of time and that they're like bringing it out of each other. Chris says, this isn't a TV show, it's a group. And none of us want this to end. And then they have champagne on the plane and high five each other and like, oh, look, the champagne has fallen all over Bryan.
Yeah, I was like, he was like Bryan.
I know, why again?
Maybe it was non-alcoholic.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know about that. But yeah, essentially it was just like, I don't know, Chris seemed super cocky at like the first record label. He was just like, oh yeah, we got this. And I was like, yeah, okay, buddy. And then, yeah, okay, so we mentioned the Jive meeting. And then Rich seemed to be the only one who was actually serious about this entire project. Like you can see genuinely, like he seemed like the best one. And then I didn't know that you don't get a record offer the same day. I just thought that, you know, they're like, oh my God, Lady Gaga, you blew my mind. Take my money. I don't know.
Really? You thought?
I thought it was like that moment, like on the spot. So like I was kind of confused that like, oh, okay, you have to make your pitch and then they come back later. I didn't know that. Yeah, and then essentially there was like a white text wrap up.
Yes,
do you have that? Okay,
yeah.
Can you read it off?
So then it says, with Rich's leukemia still in remission, Sure Shot continues to work with Brian Michael Cox on new material. Now that's surprising to me that he would continue to work with them. They are confident they'll get a deal and a second chance.
So, hindsight is 2020.
Spoiler alert, they did not get a deal.
They did not.
And there was no second chance there. So
yeah.
Yes.
All right. So now let's go into why. What's our final thoughts on this entire 7-episode sham of a television show?
I thought it was good.
This was horrible. When I was watching, I was like, oh my gosh, why would they make this?
This is a waste of my life. Yeah.
Yes, it was a waste of time, a waste of money, just a waste of space.
Here's where they went wrong. They should have had 5 members. 5 members is the magical
number.
And also each member has to have a persona, remember? Remember we forgot about that. They're just like washed up man persona. Yeah, you can't all be that guy. You know what I mean? Like you know, like Bryan could have been the old brother type. You know, Rich could have been, I guess, the sick one, which is kind of a weird fetish. But
the sick one.
But then, like, I guess Chris is the like his humor is like comes from a dark place, man.
Yes.
It was kind of cringy, but he's funny. But in this one, it's a little bit cringe. His humor.
Yeah, exactly. Jeff Timmons, like the bitch. Like, what does he got to offer, man?
He was supposed to be the hot one.
I don't know. Like, he just needed one more. I think if you had like one no-name hot guy forerunner, I think it would have worked.
You know what? What's his name?
Who?
The guy who the joke is lost. The guy who was in both Backstreet Boys and NSYNC.
Phoenix.
Oh, Charles Edwards.
Charles Edwards. Where was Charles Edwards?
He had a different name though.
No, you're thinking of Phoenix Stone, who's a different guy. He wasn't.
Oh, okay. Wait, Shinze, what was that guy's name that you were suggesting?
Charles Edwards.
Well, yeah, he needs to be part of successful bands, so that wouldn't have worked out.
This is true.
If
you got it.
Want to know more about Sure Shot, you can go to their MySpace page.
MySpace, oh my God.
That's right, myspace.com/Sure Shot Band. All 3 of the songs are on there. Their video was funny. I liked it. I thought it was cute.
Shocking that you liked it.
Yeah, come on.
But I was listening to the songs on the way here, and I was just like, these songs are not bad. Like, they were pretty good songs.
No, I don't imagine they're bad.
It sounded okay.
So a couple of updates, I guess, on what the members are doing now. So obviously, Jeff Timmons was able to get back together with 98 Degrees.
Yep.
And, you know, they were our last concert a year ago.
Yeah.
Which I always forget that we went to that one.
Yeah, so they're still doing pretty good. They did some My2K stuff, and they kind of with some other bands, and now they did some solo stuff. They released a few more. They released a Christmas album, I believe. since after this. So like 98 Degrees is kind of having their resurgence right now. So they're doing pretty well. Obviously NSYNC is not back together yet, but Chris is very like more on social media during the beginning of the pandemic. He was doing a weekly Instagram show where he'd give away prizes and stuff from his house and have other boy banders on there. So he's still going strong. Obviously, Rich Cronin passed away. Did you want to read his obituary? Or are you okay?
Maybe we shouldn't.
Okay, so Rich passed away in what year was that, guys? Sorry, this is not loading.
Can I just?
I'm not
While that's
sure
loading,
what
I'll-
year,
Okay.
but maybe it was the following year.
He
Oh,
passed
that's a
away at the age
big
of
obituary.
36,
Good
so,
God. Good for him. It's very long.
I don't know. I think it was like around 2010-ish.
That's at
It
the top.
doesn't have the date at the top,
Oh, okay.
which is really dumb.
Oh, that's so sad.
But yeah, so he passed away, and then
Rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace, Rich.
rest in peace. Like honestly, I
liked
feel
you.
like Rich got like the shaft end of
He
the
totally
deal. Like,
did. Yeah.
he was a good guy. He was a great songwriter. Like we've talked about him quite a bit, and like,
And he got the shaft in the
yeah.
end.
So rest in peace, Rich. And Bryan Abrams still seems to be causing shit and being an alcoholic and being very plus size. So he, I guess, in 2018 went on the Dr. Phil show to like go and become like a recovery. They were putting him in some sort of treatment thing.
Like rehab?
Rehab, yes. His ex-wives. So this article I read, so 2 of his ex-wives were suing him for child support.
Shocking.
So that was around the time that Mission Man Band came out. So I'm not sure if he's still married to Kim.
No idea.
But his kids would be about 13, 14 years old now. So I don't know if I couldn't find anything for that. I also found that in 2018, he got arrested for pushing a band member. So him and Color Me Bad got back together, him and the one guy. And I guess at this show, he was only there for, he was drunk and I was only there for the first song. Wandered off the stage. So his bandmates like, all right. So he just kept going and did the entire show himself. At the very end, when they had their big hit song, I Want to Sex You Up, he came and like it was at the very end, pushed him.
Pushed the one guy off the stage.
Fell onto sound equipment.
Wow, that's
Actually got arrested for assault. And
the guy had like
the guy had to go to like he had injuries from falling on this, so he had to go to the hospital.
I saw the video. It was like an 800-pound gorilla coming down on a rag doll. So
oh my god!
very sad and
Doug Ford was there? What?
I took my notes.
Like
seriously.
honestly, like we're just like, oh, like this video, we're probably not even going to see anything. And then the guy's like, thank you so
Thanks
much, and he
much.
just like comes on stage,
calmly walks on stage,
pushes
him, calmly
waves,
walks
and
on
like
stage.
walks off stage. And
It's
we're
like,
just like,
you're a psychopath.
so yes,
Holy crap!
again, that was 2-ish years ago, so maybe he's
Only 2
less
years
psycho
ago.
now. And if you'd like to know, he's now on Cameo. So if you would like a cameo from Bryan Abrams, he is only $50.
Chris is
I
also
think we're good.
So there you go.
yeah.
So
Can I circle back to what
yes,
things
buddy.
should have been happening? Okay, so they should have had 5 members. They should have had more time to like I think like 3 weeks was just like probably how much Bryan could get off at the tire store.
I was wondering that as well.
Like,
Like, did he take a leave of absence?
I'm sure he took a
from
leave of
the tire?
absence. I was saying the same thing. They needed more choreo, more matching outfits. Chris and Jeff were super toxic. They should have been replaced. No questions. Yeah, sorry. Bryan and Chris need to get buff. Hollywood can make it happen. It can be done. They needed like a more pushy manager. They should have had merch, CDs, and they should have done more on YouTube. Because YouTube, as
Well,
we
they
know,
have
became
on there. If you go to their MySpace, they have a couple of vlogs they have on there. But and I feel like we saw a clip at one point where
someone
Rich,
dating someone.
it was so it was.
But that wasn't even on the show.
It wasn't on the show, and I think that would have been great on the show.
I think because there was like some behind the scenes stuff that we weren't privy to.
yeah, like a clip floating around the internet where I believe it was Rich and Chris, possibly Jeff Timmons, talking about how they all dated the same girl, and that's the one that AJ also dated, and how like, it's an interesting
Dynamic.
yeah, it's fun. So, anyways,
But that is pretty much all of what I gotta say about.
so you don't
Mission
need to
Man
watch it, but if you want to, go.
I agree with your assessment, Lydia.
Wow. I just felt so depressed after watching it because I know the ending. I know what happens, I guess,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Here we
That
are,
was
like
very sad.
7 years later.
Do we have time to really quick? If you could make your own Mission Man band with members from X Boy Band, who would you put together? Do you think would actually have a sure shot?
I don't know, man. I feel like,
I guess you could have.
well, you know what? To be honest, I think that our draft picks is probably what I would do, honestly.
Okay.
But I mean, obviously, I didn't win because I didn't win the popularity contest. And really, at the end of the day, this is that kind of is what it is. You know what I mean? Because you need a mix of hotties, you need a mix of good sound, outfits, choreo. You need that tingle in the vingle. These guys had no tingle, no vingle. I'm sorry. Except for
And on that note, let's wrap it up.
Oh, you didn't want to give a final thoughts?
come on.
I
So
thought we did. Oh, did I
I
think it was like
like-
horrible? It was like a waste of time, a waste of space. I don't know why I watched it.
I say that I enjoyed it, and I really liked seeing Rich and Chris and Jeff. Yes, Chris was a bit of a bitch at times,
at times.
and Jeff was a
The
little
whole time, buddy.
and stuff. But honestly, I feel like if I would have known that this was on at the time, I probably would have followed Sure Shot and like on the. I feel like it was a valiant effort.
Yeah, it was.
And you know what? Why not? You got to try it out. So might as well go for it. So good job.
Nowadays, it probably could work with how formatting goes.
Those British ones. One of the guys from Five, I think it's called there is some British band that has members from X groups. I can't remember what they are right now, but yeah.
I thought you were going to talk about McBusted, but
McBusted's also no, but this is the one that has Abs from Five and then like 3 other guys. Okay, you guys.
she mentioned it before, but I can't remember
I can't remember
the name either. But she was like, "Oh, so and I don't know. I think it was like in our 5 episode or something."
If it was tried again, modern times, it probably could work. Maybe with different people, but
I don't think in these times you could get enough boy banders to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so.
At that time, all the major boy bands were on hiatus,
yeah, this is true.
right? So like who you now, like 98 Degrees is basically back together. O-Town's back together. Backstreet Boys has always been doing stuff. New Kids has always been doing stuff. Even a lot of the 80s groups have gotten back together. So then it's like, okay, the only ones are NSYNC.
You know what? That would be
Parker Angel.
You know what? NSYNC and like in like a mansion, like trying to like get therapy to like become back together again. That would be an interesting show. I'd watch that.
If they do get back together, they definitely should film. People don't do this anymore. They don't do the reality show type thing. Everyone makes a documentary.
Yeah.
Better because then you can
More
film
politics.
it over like a longer period of time and you don't have to like manufacture this drama and you can like edit it better
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
so that everything flows. But if they do get back together, they should definitely make a documentary like Jonas Brothers style of like
Yeah.
how
Netflix.
Yeah, that would be good if they did that.
Yeah.
Sorry, the British band that I'm talking about is called Boys with Z on Block.
Because they don't care about spelling.
So yes, exactly. So it says since 2009, Abs has been part of the supergroup Boys on Block, composed of Another Level, which is a band, Dane Bowers, Boyzone's Shane Lynch, and Fat and Small's Ben Offadoo. On November 20th, 2020, they released their first single, which was a cover of Stay Another Day. So they're not doing very well either, I don't think. And I've only heard of 2 of them.
Shocking.
So yeah, so I agree that, it's best to have the original boy bands get back together.
Yeah. Well, what they tried to do with the boy band show, that was pretty successful.
That was pretty good.
Maybe,
not making a new band.
yeah, I guess that's a good point. Yeah.
That's not trying to like get people who are already in existing bands.
Yeah, I guess that's a good
Whatever.
point.
But it's like I said in the beginning, it was the times.
Yeah.
Like
True.
in 2007, this is what people were doing.
Yeah.
Was getting any B-list celebrity that they can find. Like, guys, keep in mind at this time, if you are younger and maybe you were a child during this time and you don't know, like there was a song, Jesus Christ. There was a show called Flavor of Love with Flavor.
Oh yeah.
He was just an old man with a clock around his neck, like being the Bachelor, and it was terrible. It was terrible.
Didn't someone hang yourself?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, it was a weird show.
He was not even an attractive man.
No, he was
crazy. And there was that other one, that other girl was like a shot of love with Tila.
I guess that's like you were saying, they would put anything on the air during that time.
I had never heard of Flava Flav before this point, and I religiously watched this stupid show. I think there was 2 seasons of trying to find this man love. Oh, and The Surreal Life. Do you guys remember that?
What?
Yes, I do remember
that guy.
No, The Surreal Life is when they had all the celebrities in a mansion together.
Okay.
So they had like Tammy Faye Baker, and I think Sunny Knight was on one.
I think I remember that.
It was just.
I remember it vaguely.
Amy from Austin Powers.
Was there?
He peed in a corner, like that was his thing. Like, it was just like, it was like based on like the real life, which I think they put like a bunch of people together in a house, but this was surreal because they were celebrities, but they were like the B-list ones as well.
Oh Lord.
Well, like I said, there was just like a million celebrity reality shows around this time.
True.
So it was the times, but honestly, if I'm ranking boy band reality, I guess I never watched the Kevin Jonas one.
It's Jonas.
I didn't watch that.
Do that.
What?
We'll have to do that.
Maybe we will. Maybe we'll watch Married to Jonas and let you know how that is. But of the ones that I've seen, which include Newlyweds with Nick Lachey and Jessica Simpson,
I have seen that one.
House of Carters.
I've seen that one.
Didn't he have another one, I Heart Nick Carter, as well?
Oh, right.
Yes, I've also seen that one.
Oh, our precious Nick. Anyway,
Those I need to watch them.
Yeah.
you haven't watched House of Carters.
I watched like an episode where like
honestly,
Aaron was in the hospital bed. I didn't really get it.
I only watched about half of it, and then I didn't like the way they were treating Leslie, it was stressing me out that.
Yeah, it's not good.
I can't believe you guys never watched House of Carters.
I tried, but I was just like, whatever. And then to know that Leslie then dies later, I'm like, I don't know if I can go back and watch this.
Anyways, I want to say this is worse than House of Carters, but also I feel like
it's on the same wavelength.
There's certain things in House of Carters that are traumatizing as a Nick fan, and so like maybe it's better slightly than House of Carters in that it's like more fake, and House of Carters is a little too real.
I feel like the only part other parts from House of Carter that I remember is that I think it was Aaron's dog was shitting all over the place.
That is correct. Yeah.
Yep.
And then at one point, Nick yells at Aaron for being ridiculous for wanting to be a rapper and tells him that nobody's going to take him seriously.
Yeah. So the House of Carters was on in 2006 and this was on in 2007. So same time era. I don't even know what to say. It's bad.
Yeah, the show was really bad.
It was bad, yeah.
Sorry, it was like your dream show, but I
get why they tried. I appreciate that, especially near the end. Chris and Jeff were just like, listen, we were just on this to be on a reality show. We didn't think it was going to be a real band. And like, there's the real talk that I'm looking for.
Yeah. But I feel like Chris was just bored, had nothing better to do, and was like, I can show off my house.
I guess.
Probably.
Yeah,
I would not recommend this show.
Yeah,
well, we watched it, so you guys don't have to.
I would recommend it. So you have a 1 out of 4 recommendation for this show.
To be fair, we wouldn't even know the show exists without Chinzia. So
thank you, Chinzia.
There you go. What time is that?
Do you want to think?
You know what? I appreciate all of you for listening to my idea and doing this all right through.
Very good.
I feel like I'll be banned from future topics for a little while. So there you go. You got to try something.
Thank you. Yes.
So when we finally do get to binging again and you want to listen to me again, I want to binge together the entire series if we can find it.
Okay.
Because
that's a plan.
If anyone would like us to binge together, let us know. And if you're
any other show of that has Landers on it,
anything you guys want us to talk about, let us know. Like we're willing to do anything for you.
For sure. All right.
Absolutely.
Thanks for taking a break with us, guys.
Until next time.
Thanks for listening.